Now started. Yeah. My name is Jackson Mwindi. For those who know me, for those who don't know me, I'm always on the internet creating content. And today we have a guest in this channel who will be telling us about different things of different aspects of life in the US. Na hizo ni vitu zenye we need to talk about them because many people find themselves without having this information. And this is a person who has been both in Kenya in the corporate world and now is working in US in the corporate world. So he's able to give us a perspective of what goes on and what are the differences between the corporate world in the US and the corporate world in Kenya, and how people can transition from jobs in Kenya to jobs in the US. Is it a must that we're going to answer the question about, is it a must that everybody who goes to the US, they just become either nurses or certified nurse assistant, or basically be in the healthcare field? So I'm introducing today someone who is known as Evans, and I will allow him to introduce himself so that we pick it from there. So Evans, karibu, you can introduce yourself and tell our viewers what you do, where you are, and a host of other information which you feel is valuable for our viewers.
Okay, thank you very much, Jack.
Mhm.
It's a good time to have an interview with you and discuss a few things about what you have just said about the corporate world in America.
Mhm.
Yeah, America, first of all, is a very good place to come and live and raise also your family
Mhm.
and continue with the life just like a normal person or just like an Americans. So yeah, there is that notion that people, when they come to this Western world like America, they
Mhm.
think the only job they can do is nursing
Yes.
or IT people. But
Mhm.
yeah, you can do any other job, just like the corporate world. Like you can, if you want to do something in maybe auditing or insurance or like banking. Those are jobs
Mhm.
which are available. If there
Mhm.
is also mining, if you
Mining.
if you've done
Mhm.
mining and or if you have done business and you want to do business, this is a nice place to do business and all those kinds of jobs. And
Oh, uh-huh.
yeah,
Go ahead. So
yeah.
basically,
So
what were you doing before you immigrated to the US? What kind of jobs were you doing so that we get a feel of how you transitioned from Kenya to the US, how you got into the corporate world, and yeah, just basically, and you can do that, including giving us a brief introduction of yourself. Who are you? What you used to do? Then you can take it from there.
okay. Yes, like I've just said in a few minutes. Yes, my name is Evans Kieti.
Mhm.
Yeah, when I've been in America for like close to 2 years now, and before I came to America, I have a long story to tell, but just give a few information about myself.
Mhm.
Yeah, uh, I've been a banker for close to 14 years in Kenya, and I've also done business in Kenya for like 3 or 4 years. So I was
Mhm.
also self-employed kind of a person up to some point. And how I transitioned to America, yeah, it's something which you need to plan, and as you plan, you need to do a lot of background, also checks, and before you even planning to come here, you must decide and be determined to come, because when you are leaving your country, you are kind of coming to start afresh. So
Yes, yes.
starting afresh, most of the people are afraid of starting afresh, and
Mhm.
that's the major challenge for most of
And sorry for to cut you short. You mean starting afresh is like you are starting on a lower level than the one you are in your home country? or a lower job? What do you mean by starting afresh?
Not definitely in terms of job, but starting afresh is you are leaving what you are doing from your country and you are coming to do other things in this country, or
Mhm.
and you have you leave your wealth, you leave your job, you leave your people over there and come and start afresh. That is what I mean. But
Okay.
when once you come here, it doesn't mean you are doing a lower job, because in comparison to what maybe you are getting in Kenya or in your country, it's actually different and it's much higher. You can't even compare. So
Mhm.
when it comes to job, sometimes yes, you have to determine of what you want as a person, but uh, it's good once you come here, because you are in a new world. You start with a job which is available at that moment, as you
Mm.
focus for your future on what you want to do. If you are
As
a
you look for
professional, that is
opportunities.
different. You can just directly go into your professional work. If you're a doctor or a nurse or uh, an insurance person, a banker. So those jobs which are professional, you can directly come and join into that institution. Yeah.
Okay, so for your case, did you have to change to anything else, or you got directly into banking?
Uh, from my side, I didn't change my career. I came and joined what I used to do in my country. So the experience I had is what gave me the job. Yeah.
Okay, and was it hard, like landing a job? And how did you apply for the job? Was it hard? How long did it take for you to now apply and get this job?
Uh, it is not hard. It wasn't hard to get a job. I can say maybe I was lucky, or maybe God helped me in a way. So I cannot say God left me. So it wasn't hard, and I just applied for a job which I saw online, and I thought I can do it. It wasn't exactly what I was doing, but I thought this is a job I can do in banking industry. So I
Mhm.
applied, and uh, fortunately, they called me. They called me and they interviewed me, and with my experiences, they picked me to start the job. The major challenges which you might get is that the systems here are quite different. The kind of operations, the kind of language and the abbreviations they use, and the processes, they are totally different. Maybe they are kind of similar, but the way they do it, they are totally different. So that's the only challenge you need to have, and you need to learn real quick to get the processes right and move on with
Oh,
life. Yeah.
oh. So what about what workplace culture differences did you find in the US? Because where we come from, we have our own workplace habits, cultures, and such things. So, what differences did you get in the job in the workplace when you started working in the US as a banker? Because you've been working in Kenya for more than 10 years, and now that you got into a new environment, did you find
Um,
any differences?
yeah, there's a lot of difference when it comes to culture. Yeah, culture comparing our culture and their culture, there are two parallel lines. Uh, yeah, you have to learn how they work, the how they do their things, the way they talk,
Mhm.
and that is something which is challenging to most of us who come to this country. But I normally say it's all in your mind. So if you have set your mind, you are going to learn and get to their system, it becomes easy. But definitely the cultures are totally different. Yeah, the way we run our business,
Mhm.
a corporate business in Kenya and here, they are totally different. Yeah, the departments are different.
Totally different.
They do
Oh,
different things. So yeah,
mhm.
and their systems are super right. They are right. They are totally different from what we do in our country. Yeah, so you must specialize on what you are doing
so
and do
so,
it
so
perfectly.
Okay.
Yes.
So once you landed that job, did you get like people like who look like you and look like you? I mean, people who we share common skin color, common
Yeah.
tradition, common origin. Did
Of course,
you? It's
yeah.
like oh, you found yourself. Mhm.
Of course, America is occupied by all types of humans, and here they are called the people of color. So yeah, there are some. I do work with people of color, and yeah, there are several. They are there. They are there. We work with them, but uh, definitely where I work, I don't have somebody who is coming from Africa. But what the Black Americans, they are available. Yeah, yeah.
No. Oh. So let me ask you somehow a different question from what we are shifting from what we were talking about. Let me ask you, is it possible now for someone to venture into business? Like, let's say you become a trucker. Is it possible for you as an African, or as a person from the Sunshine Continent, to start a business in the US? Have you been able to see people who run their businesses from Africa? That is what I'm asking.
Yeah, there are people who do business from Africa and they are doing very well. I can say yes. Here, people from Africa, they have the energy and zeal and they want to get into that opportunity. Yeah, there are people who are doing very well in terms of business. The people own their own trucks, people have their own gas stations. There are
Mm-hmm.
people who have small businesses, MSBs. Yeah, also people are importing goods. They have companies which import goods to Africa back to their countries. Yeah, there are all kinds of businesses guys are trying to do here. There are those those who have established business, the IT people, they have their
Mm-hmm.
business of IT. We have insurance guys, we have hotels people, there's a
Mm-hmm.
hospitalization business. Yeah, they are there and they are doing very
Oh,
well. Yeah.
okay. I will want to shift a little bit and ask you about. I'm looking for the right words. Uh, are you able to get what we call uh, social gatherings, which are related to you, like churches, like gyms and spas, things which you find? Uh, I'm lacking good words to explain, but you know what I mean when I ask, are you able to get into social groupings of people who have the same beliefs like you or who look like you?
Yeah. People, there are people who are spiritual. There's a mixture of kinds of religions, and yes, there are people who believe. The people who
Mm-hmm.
believe in Jesus and as their savior. Jesus is the person who dies for on the cross for our sins. Yes, they are there, and there are all kinds of denominations. I think if you look at our history, most of the churches which we have in Africa, they somehow came from this side. Yeah, so there,
Mm-hmm.
there are people we have the same beliefs, same we everything is the same like the way we do in our church. Yes. The only
There,
difference is that the socialization here is quite different. It's not like the way we socialize in back in our countries. Here it's quite different because people go with time. So time is always a factor here. People like to, once they are done with the church, they want to go and do something else. So it's not a bother. So there are those who are left for the church programs in the afternoon. So uh, we call it the country of the brave and for the free. So you do what you want, which
uh,
pleases your heart. Yeah.
want to shift a little bit again. I want to ask about now transition for children as a person who has a family. Definitely, while you are relocating to the US from Africa, you'll be relocating with your family, and there are issues of children, schooling, and mostly schooling. How is this transition? Are you able to find schools? Is there a time you need to immigrate to the USA so that the timing becomes proper with a school calendar? Were you able to find schools fast?
Oh yeah, yeah. One thing you should understand is that kids are valued in this country. You don't
Mm-hmm.
joke around with kids. So when talk about kids, that is something very sensitive, and kids must go to school. So so when we were looking for the school, I think we made a one call to the school and we explained ourselves, and they told us give us the address. We gave the address and they told us they'll come and do a visit to see if we are living there. And within a day, as an inspector for the school was in my house, confirmed, yes, we are staying in that school, or we are staying in that district, sorry, it's called the
Mm-hmm.
district, school districts.
Mm-hmm.
And once he confirmed, we were told the kids should go the following day. So that was it. And when they went to the school, they reported, and from there we gave them the documents and details of the kids, and that was it. It was as easy as that. So here, education is kind of free. So there's nothing, if it's a public school, there's nothing you pay. So everything is provided. So there was nothing much. So that was it. So it's a matter of choosing the school you want. And if you are within a certain district, of course, you must go to that specific district. We
Mm-hmm.
still have private schools around. Yeah, you can do that. But it depends with your pocket. If you want them to go there, it's your will.
It's okay. It's perfect. Huh?
Yep.
Talking about bills, I want to talk about because everybody who is in the US is always talking about bills, bills, bills. Can you touch on the issue of bills? Because from Africa, we think that uh, there's you pay a lot of money for services, maybe for houses, maybe for healthcare, maybe for schools. How is the situation there in terms of bills?
Uh, Definitely everything which touches money, you must have self control and budgeting. And yes, it's true. Here we have bills, and it's just the same thing in our countries. Back in Africa, we still have bills. So
Mm.
here, bills, they are a bit strict. You must pay because they affect your credit score.
Mhm.
It's not back in our country. If you don't pay something, you can move on in life and go back to your village and have your good time there. So yes,
Yeah.
there's nothing like that. So yes, bills are there, and the good thing with this country is that if you have, if you need something, if for example it is internet, you subscribe and make sure you pay on time. If
Mhm.
it is rent, you must pay in time. If it is insurance, that is a must. You must pay in time. So the
Mhm.
only question maybe you like to know is that are we able to pay those bills? Yes, we are able to pay, and it depends the jobs you get and how much you get into those things. Because, for example, if you don't need internet, you can just use your phone and just live the normal life we live in our countries. But
Oh.
yeah, there are bills, but we manage to pay.
Mhm.
Of
Provided you
course,
are working, provided you have a
when
job.
you're working, you're able to pay, and you get what you can afford. Don't get in yourselves in something which you can't afford, because it will mess your life in this country.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have some few questions about driver's license. I hope that
Mhm.
I'm not taking so much of your time, but let me ask you about driver's license.
Uh-huh.
Because you might be a person who has a driver's license in their home country, and you transition to the US. Do you need to have a can you use your driver's license from your home country? And what is the journey for someone who doesn't have a driver's license from their home country and they want to start driving in the US? Because I know
Oh,
driving is one very essential aspect of life in the US.
okay. Here you must have a driving license to drive a car, and if you don't have a driving license from your country, the best thing you can do is just go to school get tested, do your exams. The police will also examine you and see if you are competent enough to drive on the road, and they will give you a license within. You are given a temporary permit. Then within 2 weeks, you get your license through the mail. So for those people who have a driving license in Kenya and they will just like to come and drive directly, yes, you must get an international driving license, and that is issued by the AA in our
You,
countries.
you mean
So
you get a sorry? So you mean you get an international driver's license before you
before
start
you leave
migrating?
your country, yes, before you leave our country, yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how long can you use the international driver's license while in the US? How long?
Okay. That's
Like
a
1 year?
that's a good question. Yes, it's valid for 1 year, so you can drive for one good year without somebody asking you why you are driving on these roads. Yep.
And I want to ask you about this thing we usually call ticketing, having violating traffic rules, and you get yourself being ticketed. How does that affect people like us who come from places where we do not obey traffic rules to the latter? How does that play out in the US? Because you know how where we come from, we do not
Uh,
obey.
okay, here when you arrive here, you must follow the law. Yeah, yeah, Americans, we don't joke. You must follow the law. So if you are not careful, you get a ticket. A ticket is just like a fine. It's just a language which is different from our language in our country. So you get a ticket. A ticket is can be a fine where you are
Mhm,
fined there and then, and it doesn't
mhm.
mean you pay. So because everything is linked to your address and your vehicle is linked to everything, you just get a bill by the end of the month and you have to pay. So if you have done several or you have received several tickets up to a certain level, your license can be withdrawn
Mhm.
for a year or 6 months, 3 months. It depends on the wrongs you have done. And that
Okay.
is very dangerous because it affects your credit score. So if you have done lots of errors,
Violations. Mhm,
yes, so your score goes down. So when you are looking for a credit is just like a loan. Or
mhm.
when you are looking for a house, they check if you want to rent your home. They will check. So you are not able to get such things. So it's very damn serious to be on the right position of the law.
Oh, I again want to shift a little bit from that point. Then I want to ask about: are you able to see from the state you are in? Are you able to see maybe Africans who work in maybe Walmart, these starter jobs? Are you able to see when moving around?
Oh yeah, there are so many people of color here. Yeah, they do all kinds of business. They are in Walmart. You see them shopping too. You see them working in Pizza Huts, McDonald's. Every kind of business they are there. Insurance, trucks, all kinds of business. You'll find them doing. They are working here.
So let me ask you this: which is the easiest way you tell someone to? Because many people I know are trying to immigrate to the US, and there are sure ways like the green card, like marriage to a person who is already a citizen in the US. Which is the easiest and surest way you could tell someone maybe who is looking to immigrate to the US? What could you tell our listeners because they want to know?
Um, that is a very tricky question.
Mhm,
I can't pinpoint an easy way to come to this country. It depends on one's ambition,
mhm.
what kind of life you want. So it's a tricky question, but the easiest way people maybe find themselves here is a green card. Green card is the easiest way to come here.
The easiest.
The other second way of coming is if you are coming as a professional, you're importing your skills to this country. Yeah, that is a second way of coming here. There are those people who get invites. You can get an invite and come to this country. So I think those are the best, but it's a very tricky question to answer that this is the best way to come to this country. I would be lying.
I know the question is ambiguous, but I also didn't want us to forget about the student route of immigration to the US as a starting point, at least, because I know many of our people are able to get student visas to the US or Canada.
Okay. If you want to come to study to USA, it can be. It's also a good pathway to come over here. But you see, you are coming to study, it's not to work. So if you want to come and study, of course, you must have the right grades. You must have a good statement to prove that you not come here and
bank statement, you mean?
suffer. Sorry?
Bank statement? You mean a bank statement?
Statements, just something to prove, those things to prove that you won't come here and suffer because you are coming as a student. So your parents or your guardians should be able to prove that they are going to take care of you when you are here. Because, of course, when you are a student, you will have limited time to work, or maybe you are not supposed to work depending on how you came and
on your program.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask about social what do we call them? Social programs, social protection programs for people maybe who are vulnerable. What are they available? Are there what we call free stuff, free things for people who are vulnerable? Maybe people who are very poor. Something of that sort. Is there anything you know about social programs? Free healthcare, free school, free housing?
Yeah, maybe if I can go directly to the issue of housing. Yes, I normally see houses where people who are homeless, they can go and live. They are there, but I don't know the procedures of going there. But I've seen houses where I asked somebody, what are these houses for? The several houses I was told they are for the homeless. Like if you want to go and stay there, you can go and stay there. But I don't have an exact information on how they work, but those things are available. And also people are vulnerable. The government takes care of them in a certain way. They get like
Food.
grants, or you find that so there's those areas you might find some things are a little bit cheaper, but in a way the governments take care of that. Make, for example, school, you find schools are totally free, you see. And you find people also getting things, something called food stamp. So food stamp is, it's like money you are given to the kid to buy food and eat. So those things are, I think I've seen them and I've read them somewhere on the internet. They're there, but something which I haven't come across. Yeah, but they're available.
Oh, that's nice. And because we are in our 27th minute since we started this conversation, we don't want to drag for long. So I feel it's the right time for us to land the plane so that we allow for time to make another live video so that we share all this information with our people. And thank you very much, Evans, for coming to this live. We'll arrange, then we come and talk to our people and explain to them the pathways which are available for them to immigrate to the USA, and different things about the whole process of immigrating to another country, because that is something our people need to know. So unless you have something else you want to add, we'll be landing the plane.
Okay, I don't have something. Maybe we can do it in the next videos. You can only say thank you very much for having me, and thank you for giving us all that time to share that information to people who want to know more about the life in America. and I'm thankful. Let's meet next time.
So let's, if you're watching this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. You can ask any question in the comment section so that we get an opportunity to interact with you. Don't also forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up so that the YouTube algorithm makes it be shared further and further so that we get more people getting this information. Thank you very much and have yourself a good night, a good evening. Sawa sawa, nimeshukuru.
Thank you.